now we can go live.
All right.
Hi, good afternoon, guys. How are you doing? Good? So I guess you are here to learn more about Supermicro and how we are kind of making it easy for you to do the vSAN deployments. That's right? Everybody is for the same thing. Doors are closing. Yep. So today we have with us McMonigal. She's the director of HCI.
HCI marketing for Intel. Yep.
And you want to say a few words of what the group does? And
Sure, yeah. I'm part of Intel's data center group, and I work with our hyper-converged software partners to help them take advantage of the different hardware that Intel's providing, as well as tools and libraries to optimize their performance. And we'll be talking more about how we've been working with Supermicro and VMware to deliver optimized solutions for vSAN.
And I do the solutions enablement for Supermicro, basically working with different end customers, enterprise service provider, trying to understand and identify the right solutions for our customers. Having said that, this is something which you already heard, because 6 years ago when we started this hyperconvergence journey, we had to convince our customers on what needs to be done, how needs to be done, and what they need to do in order to kind of get the best business outcome. So that way, this battle has been won. Pretty much each one of you sitting here understand that change is needed. You need to change in order to kind of service your customers better, right?
Absolutely.
Having said that, how many of you guys recognize that server on the right side? Very good. For those of you who do not recognize, I challenge you because you are familiar with it. Probably not under Supermicro logo, but this is the box that started the hyperconvergence movement. 6 years ago, this was the one where many of the leading hyperconvergence players today went with this box, right? That's our Twin Pro Square. That was 6 years ago. It did a very good job to kind of do the tier 2, tier 3 workloads, right? And today, when you look at it, technology has moved forward. We got the NVMe, more number of cores, much faster memory, and your workloads are changing. When I said you guys already understand the problem, you recognize the need to change, this is one of them, which is, you guys are very clear. For tier 2, tier 3, vSAN environment is good, you can do it. But the hesitation earlier on was, can I kind of make use of my workloads, tier 1 workloads, mission critical, deploy vSAN on it, right? So that is where I think the whole picture is changing, because when you look at it, vSAN is now ready for tier 1 mission critical applications too, whether you're looking at in-memory database applications or your most memory compute, we can do that with vSAN. So for tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, as well as the VDA workloads, vSAN is the preferred solution for many of you guys because it's very simple to deploy, simple to order, and simple to manage.
I think the #1 workload today is SQL databases on vSAN. Yeah.
I think you have the performance numbers to go through it later on, right? How important it is, how best it is.
Yeah.
Right? So once again, when you wanted to go with hyperconvergence, the promise that was made to you on day one, and still the same promise that we keep today, is simplicity. It's simple to kind of figure out the scoping requirements, right? Depending upon your workloads, you can figure out how many VMs and how many cores you need. It is simple. That way we made it very simple for scoping. It's simple to configure one particular system which can do it all for the compute, for the storage, and simple top of the rack switch to hook up to, and you are in business. So configurability, we made it very simple. For orderability, we made it very simple because one SKU to order comes with service and support included, everything. That way from day 0, you can go into business. Deployment, we made it simple. That way you can kind of deploy it with the least amount of effort. We got tools there to kind of make sure that the vCenter, vSphere, and the vSAN are deployed. So all the 4 steps are done. The final step is your manageability. Obviously, you're done, you're deploying it. How do you kind of manage it? Is it easy to manage? If something goes wrong, how easy is it to maintain? and more importantly, your business is growing, your needs are growing, you need a scalable path to upgrade. So that is where I think this whole hyperconvergence makes it simple on all the fronts. That is the reason why you guys want to kind of deploy it in your data centers. Having said that, when I started the talk, it was more on the tier 2, tier 3 workloads. I showed you the Twin Pro Square. But many of you guys are now ready to go with your tier 1 mission critical applications, right, in memory database, like Christine mentioned.
Right.
And this is the one that enables. This is the phase of hyperconvergence. Today, many of the leading hyperconvergence companies use this platform as a base.
So that's 4 servers inside that 1 2U chassis, right, Sim?
Exactly, 4 servers. Nothing has changed because 6 years ago, when you wanted to go with the hyperconvergence, you wanted that appliance form factor, you wanted a 2U4 node, we made it happen.
Right.
But now we got the NVMe, more power hungry, puts out more thermals, obviously, right? We did the benchmark here, more CPU. So what is happening is a lot of innovation has to happen in the background. We had to do everything.
Yes.
But we were boxed into the form factor because the 2U4 node is what you guys were so liked it, and you want to continue, so that's what we did. External chassis, we never changed anything, it's still the 2U4 node, but internally we changed the number of processor and the memory that it can hold. 3 terabytes of memory per node, 3 terabytes per node, 4 nodes, 12 terabytes. That means any of the densest in-memory compute, throw at it, it'll work, guaranteed.
Yeah, it can handle whatever kind of workload you might want to throw at it, and basically you've got this one box. You've got your deployment up and running fast and easily, right?
Absolutely, right? Simplicity. All you need is a network switch on the top of the rack. Hook it up, you're done. That's how simple it is. And more importantly, when you look, since the last 6 years, we have come a lot in the storage. Storage technology has grown by leaps and bounds.
Yes.
You got the NVMe.
Right.
You got the more powerful Optane, which you're going to talk about.
Yep.
That is really making it easy for our customers to deploy it. And more importantly, increase the performance out of this particular system. So they're getting done more with a lot less.
With
so
less,
that's a powerful message.
Saves you footprint in your data center, power, cooling, all of those things, right? Consolidation.
And it's more efficient.
Yes.
When it comes to power, it's more efficient. We kind of did the power sticks innovation there. So it kind of slides into the small narrow form factor.
Okay.
And it's much more efficient.
Very good.
Having said that, this is what each node looks like, right? 56 cores, dual of CPU, 2 sockets, 56 cores. That's a huge number of VMs that you can run in. 3 terabytes of memory. And more importantly, it can handle the Optane drives, which we're going to talk about.
Right.
Amps of the performance. It can handle the SATA SSD, SAS SSD, or if you're doing a, the traditional thing, it can also handle the drives, hard drives. So what it really means is, you already deployed this box, the earlier version of it, in your tier 2, tier 3 mission, tier 3 and VDI. Now, you can use the same box with all flash. You can use it in your tier 1 mission critical. And if you want to go for the tier 2, tier 3 dev test loads, you kind of play around in the configuration with the hard drives versus the SATA drives, SSDs versus the NVMe, get the right mix. So what it really means is same form factor, same familiarity with the system. You can deploy across your all workloads, whether you're looking at your data center or your remote office, branch office. One other thing that it brings is the flexibility in the networking. That's another thing that we did. And we are able to do all this because we design our own motherboards together with the help from Intel, doing in guidance with the best design principles from Intel.
Right.
And then we kind of manufacture and build everything in the North America for the shipments happening in North America. So that was most vertically integrated company, which has much more control on the design aspect of it because we own it. We have IP. And then we also have the manufacturing. We can kind of make any changes that need to be done much faster. Having said that, many of you said 2U4 node, that was good at that time because appliance, you wanted to kind of do that. Now, I don't have to convince any one of you how important hyperconvergence is for your business outcome. Now you're trying to take more kind of, you're branching out from the 2U form factor, and you're trying different other form factors because you want more density. Because all said and done, no one size fits all. Each of your requirements are very unique, and that's the reason why we kind of enable this Ultra system also. What it really does, it's a 2U system, but then again, it can kind of have more capacity in there. That way you can build the 4 nodes. But remember, we haven't gone back on our word, which is a simplicity. So although it looks a little bit difficult from here, but we made it very simple for you to configure because we have the vSAN ready nodes. Even in that configuration, oftentimes you come and say, you know what, I don't want to pay extra for this course. I don't need that much of capacity in the CPU, or I don't need that much of memory. We can customize it on top of that. And with that, the performance piece.
Yes, the performance.
We have done all these things. We made it very simple, but we have not sacrificed on the performance. In fact, it is much, much improved on this one.
That's right, yeah. And Intel and VMware together hired a third party to test the generation over generation improvement in performance. And that's what you're seeing here on these graphs. On the left side, we've got the performance improvements using the IOMark benchmark. And what this shows is the gray bars on the left are the previous generation of processor, our E5 2600 series V4, otherwise known as Broadwell processors. And we had paired that with our previous generation of 2D NAND SSDs and vSAN 6.5, and we tested this back in 2016. Performance seemed great. But then you come out with the next generation, and by next generation, I mean next generation of everything. Latest version of vSAN 6.7, together with our Xeon Scalable processors, our Optane SSDs, our 3D NAND SSDs, and of course Supermicro putting all of that together into an easy to purchase server. And what you can see here is the performance going from a hybrid config on the previous generation to an all NVMe config with Optane on the new generation. 13x improvement in performance. I don't get to use a number like that very often. 13 times improved. So that's huge. But perhaps even more impactful is the price performance reduction that we got at the same time. Same systems, same configurations, and the price for each of those IOPS dropped 10 times. So you can see where what we were just talking about in terms of being able to do more with less, being able to be more efficient, being able to run more workloads and more demanding workloads on your hyperconverged cluster becomes all the easier when you go to this latest generation of software and hardware.
So Christine, oftentimes when I sit down with the customers and do the pricing calculations kind of a thing, they say, you know what, I like this Optane performance, but when individually price the Optane drive versus anything else, it's a little more expensive.
Yes.
Right?
That's right.
But for that one, yeah, the price is a little bit more expensive, but there is one cool trick in this one. Optane is so fast, it's wickedly fast, that you don't need that much of a capacity for the cache.
That's right.
You can go with a smaller cache capacity, but still do much better on the performance.
That's exactly right. The latency is so low that it improves that cache performance dramatically, even though the capacity of those drives is fairly small. And in fact, VMware just published a blog on this a couple of days ago on what the cache sizes should be for different types of configurations. And they acknowledged that with a drive like Optane, you don't need very much cache for it to make a huge impact on the performance overall of the hyperconverged cluster. I got all the configuration details if anybody wants to comb through it and make sure that they understand how we came up with the numbers, not hiding anything here. But what we can see here is that the Optane SSDs provided a huge improvement in the efficiency by increasing that cache performance and reducing the latency dramatically. And what we're doing to put this all together, Intel together with Supermicro and VMware, is we've developed a select solution. What a select solution is a tightly configured hardware and software component list that we've put together with predefined settings, we've gone through extensive tuning of the system in order to optimize the performance for a particular workload. And what we've done here is identified a benchmark with VMware. They prefer the VMmark benchmark. And so we've set a performance threshold for select solutions on what they will perform for a given workload using that benchmark. And so Intel developed the reference design, and then we release it out to the industry. And Supermicro takes that and says, all right, we're going to deliver this select solution for vSAN to market, and it meets the tightly specified list of components and exceeds that performance threshold that Intel set. And so you can be assured when you purchase the select solution for vSAN from Supermicro that it's going to meet that level of performance requirement for your workloads in the data center. A little bit more detail on this here. Everyone's probably familiar with the Ready Node program. What the select solutions are a subset of the Ready Nodes. There's a very large pool of Ready Nodes available, and it takes a time to comb through that and evaluate all the different options. The select solutions are the easy and fast route to go if you don't want to spend a lot of time evaluating, and instead you want to get to modernizing your data center and deploy as quickly as possible. So Supermicro has a lot of different Ready Node options available. Select solutions are a couple of those that can deliver this optimized level of performance.
So to add to that, right, you're very right.
Yeah.
We got a lot of ready nodes, but what we have seen in the field is our customers, the requirements are different, each one of them.
Sure.
So we customize whatever is already a vSAN ready node, we customize it further based upon your requirements. That's a huge benefit for them. That way they're not paying a lot more for something that they're not going to use today.
Sure. Yeah, you definitely want to optimize the performance for whatever workloads you're going to be running on that solution. And so what we've done here is we've brought these solutions to market. They're optimized for Intel architecture in terms of the performance, but also the scalability and the flexibility that they're offering you. You can scale out as you need to. Start with 4 nodes, go to 8, go to 12 after that. However you need to scale your system, and do it as you need to, as you're increasing your capacity or you're increasing your performance. vSAN delivering mission critical reliability, 6 nines of availability on those solutions, so meets the type of standards that you'd expect of any enterprise storage solution. Choice of hardware options from Supermicro, and they'll customize it to meet your needs. And then we've got this outstanding cost effectiveness in terms of the TCO. And as I illustrated with the price performance data earlier, it's very compelling when you move to the new generation.
I think going back to your mission critical, right? When we sit down with customers, most of them, they say, you know what, I like this one, but I've been using traditional SAN.
Right.
And their first number 1 question is, how can I migrate the workloads? The second is, can this one really deliver that 6 nines?
Yeah.
So the proof is in the pudding. We did the test, and that we have sample deployments where they're in production, they're doing it. So it's there for your mission critical tier 1 workloads also.
That's right. It's definitely ready for those today. All right.
So having said that, Christian, thank you. This partnership has been wonderful on many fronts. We enjoy working with you. We'll do a lot more on this one. Ready nodes and all the things going forward. And great, you like it, you heard the story, you like it, what are the next steps? So Supermicro, as you probably know already, we engage directly with our end customers, and we are a huge channel players. Channel is what made us what we are today, right? So for that one, we are indebted to them, and you can kind of reach out to your channel partners, favorite channel partners, to ask for how to deploy a solution. We can provide more details on that one. Or you can reach out to a Supermicro salesperson, or you can go to our website and kind of contact us. We also have a booth right here in the corner, 2037. We have the vSAN ready node that Christine and I were talking about, the Intel Select. You can see that one. Along with that one, we got a lot of cool technologies like a 1U JBuff, which can get you up to 1 petabyte scale in that 1U form factor.
Yeah, stop by and see it at the Supermicro booth for sure.
Having said that, Guys, thank you. We are here because of you. We appreciate that, and we'll work twice as hard to make it come true for you. All
Yes.
your dreams. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Mm-hmm.